Hello, American press corps. Listen, I understand it's pretty easy to cover Trump. The man's an entertainer. He does outrageous things and says outrageous things, and you get to report on it and then you're done. Even if he's not doing something, which is rare, he surrounds himself with this cast of characters that just make great TV. Just a smorgasbord of cartoon villains with deep pockets and ridiculous sound bites. I get it. Who wants to cover the Biden administration when you have the real housewives of criminal Washington at your fingertips? Biden and his people are efficient and competent. They're improving the economy, passing necessary legislation, and representing America like intelligent leaders on the world stage. Boring! Who wants to report on people doing their jobs and not setting things on fire? Well, we do. The people. We want you covering people doing their jobs, and we would love it if you pointed out that setting things on fire is dangerous. If you want to highlight cheap drama, then you should be in reality television, not the news. I recently did a piece breaking down the nuances of the Georgia indictment. You know, the one with the 19 criminal defendants, including our ex-president, all charged with criminal conspiracy to overturn the election? It's a pretty big deal. But most of the people who watched my video commented things like, "Thanks for explaining this. I didn't understand. This is very helpful." Yeah, it's helpful to have things broken down so we can make informed decisions and opinions. But the question is, why am I doing it? You get paid to do it. There's a bunch of us out here doing volunteer public service because you've left a giant hole in the market where contextual facts and truths should be. I mean, you talk 24 hours a day and yet you say so little. Nowadays, most of you aren't that much more informative than tabloids. You're selling us the same sensational stories and treating nation-shaking events like entertainment. Has research become optional? Is vetting your guests or pushing back on blatant lies just out of the realm of possibility for your corporate owners? We don't need both sides. We need the truth. You're not being fair and impartial if you're giving equal time to corruption and criminality and incompetence because you don't want to lose any viewers. And I know some of you are excellent journalists, and for you I say thank you, we are deeply grateful. But to the rest of you, did you really go into journalism to support some billionaire corporation's bottom line? I understand that covering Biden isn't as engaging as following Grabber by the pussy around. It might not set you up for some advanced book deal or cable news gig, but playing this moment in history for ratings is a mistake. The country is teetering between democracy and autocracy, and you've got your thumb on the scale for the autocrat because it'll bring in more ad dollars. And for the life of me, I can't figure out why you think Trump's re-election or his successful coup or, God forbid, another Trump presidency would be in any way beneficial to you. Have you no sense of history? Have you forgotten that the free press is the first thing to go in an authoritarian regime? Trump hasn't been coy that he hates you. He coined the term fake news. He set his most rabid fans on reporters. He told us his plan if he's reelected is to gut the federal government and purge it of anyone who isn't a loyalist, to solidify the power of all federal agencies around the presidency and punish anyone who doesn't agree with him. He was already prepared to use the military on his citizens, and he will do it again. That's a dictatorship. And the first thing dictators do is shut down the free press. So maybe start reporting the news before you get us all into a situation where it's illegal to report the news. Biden got the most votes than any president in American history, and he has accomplished more in his first term than any president in the last 100 years. He's out here kicking ass, passing bills left, right, and center, taking sensible steps to unify the country and shore up democracy here and abroad. And the right's response has been, screw you, you communists. We would rather an incarcerated Trump burn the nation and its laws to the ground than vote for you. And the only reason there are voters wavering between the two sides is your fault. It might be boring to cover Biden, but it'll be life-saving. Do your frickin' jobs. Spend more time covering the successful actions of our current president than the desperate actions of our past one. Joe Biden is out here working for the American people. Trump is out here working for himself. That's the truth. Start reporting it, and you might even make great television.